Hi, I'm Kristen.
And I'm Danielle.
Welcome to a TwinStrands Tangent.
This is going to be a special video where we are discussing our future plans for the DFW Fiber Fest, which is just around the corner, just about a month away. It's going to be September 14th through the 17th in Irving, Texas. It's our first ever Fiber Festival to go to,
We're super
excited.
Yeah.
So we wanted to talk a little bit about just kind of our plans, what classes we're going to be attending, what vendors we're really excited to see, and just kind of our general plans.
Yeah. So the classes that we're going to be attending, we picked one that we would both be going to together, and then we each picked one that we're going to without the other one. It's at the same time. So the one that we're going to together is called Temari, which is Japanese thread balls. I'm sure we will put up a picture, an example picture of what those look like. And we had such a hard time.
Oh, it was so difficult.
There were so many amazing looking classes that we were genuinely interested in, but we both kind of said that we were going to try and pick some classes that would teach us things that we wouldn't either we wouldn't necessarily go out and buy all the supplies for, or we weren't going to be able to learn just on YouTube or something like that.
I think because we're predominantly self-taught knitters, as exciting as going to all these classes were, trying to find a way to make this just really fit into our budget. And the way this Fiber Festival works, and I don't know if it's that way at all Fiber Festivals or if it's just this one, but you pay for each class individually. And so just trying to fit it all in our budget, we really had to be very limited in which classes we were choosing to attend. And so I think because we are pretty much self-taught knitters and YouTube taught knitters, there weren't really as many. I mean, there were a bunch of knitting classes that just seemed fascinating and were super exciting. The sound of them were amazing. I know one that really was interesting to me was doing colored cables and contrast in like 2 different colors, which is something I've really wanted to try. But I feel pretty confident that I could figure that out on my own.
Yeah.
So I think just trying to find classes that we weren't necessarily going to just try or wouldn't be able to figure out on our own through YouTube and other online resources.
So we are both doing the Temari, which is going to be an all-day class on Saturday. And then Danielle picked out mushroom fairy houses.
Yes. Needle felting.
Yeah. I've done a little bit of needle felting, not a whole lot, but Danielle hadn't done as much as I have.
I'll pop a picture up. These fairy houses are adorable, and I am so excited. We have a bookshelf, kind of in our entryway going into our house that I think one of these fairy houses will look so cute on.
Yeah.
It's kind of our goblin core bookshelf, and so I think a little felted mushroom fairy house will just be perfect.
Despite our you can see it a little bit in our background, but despite our background, our general decoration style for our house is kind of, I would say it's mid-academia. It's not dark academia. It's a little lighter, but it's darker than light academia, mixed with like Hobbit core, Goblin core style. So I think those houses will be really cute.
Yeah, they will be.
And then my class that I'm going to is an intro to dyeing, which I didn't realize until literally we just sat down to record, is being taught by a artist that Danielle and I have both recently come to know and really enjoyed. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I think those are the 3 classes that we're going to be attending, and we're really excited. We were volunteering on the other days, which we're both very excited about as well. We did hear from somebody that in previous years they took volunteers in the classes and had them helping out in the classes, which would be really cool if we could do that.
I'm definitely crossing my fingers that at least one volunteer session will be in a class. Because even if it's a class that I wouldn't necessarily have booked if I was paying for it, I don't think there was a single class at the entire thing that I wouldn't have been interested in.
Oh yeah. So we're always interested in learning new things and trying new things. So
yeah,
we're very excited.
Yes. So the other part of the video is our top 7 vendors that we are both interested in or most excited about. So I did mine. I went through the whole list of vendors, which again was really hard to narrow it down to 7. I think when I originally started tagging them, I had like 12 or something, so I had to cut it almost in half.
I think I had 10, 12, I think.
So I picked my top 7, and then the way that I categorized mine, number 7 was by how many of their things I was interested in buying, instead of just favorites. Because there are some of the vendors on my list that I like the one thing more than I like the 5 things in one of the other vendors that ranks higher on the list. So I went off of how many of their items am I interested in buying.
I did kind of. I organized mine on how likely I am to buy that thing.
Okay.
Or how likely I am to buy something from them. If obviously if money was no object, we'd be buying something from everybody.
Oh yes,
but probably multiple things. Like I said before, we're both on a budget, and so my kind of budget plan for going into this is I want to buy a project bag because I have had the same 2 knitting project, really the same 1 knitting project bag for years. And I just bought another bag that's not even a knitting project bag. It's just a big bag that I bought earlier this year. And so I have 2 project bags, and I've really been wanting another one. So I'm excited about the idea of maybe finding a new project bag. And then obviously yarn, just some yarn.
Yeah.
So anyway, I organized mine based on like how likely I am to buy something from these vendors, and specifically how likely I am to buy, like if they have this specific thing. I took screenshots on my phone from their Instagram pages, but if they have this specific thing there at the Fiber Festival, how likely I am to buy that thing. And so and I didn't tell Kristen this, I do have one honorable mention.
I also have an honorable mention. If you're going to have an honorable mention, I'm going to have one too.
But it's not for me. I have to say that. Like, I don't know if you want to do the honorable mentions first or last. But
let's do them last.
Okay. But the honorable mention, the item would not be for me. So I'm not really cheating in mentioning this other one.
Mine was, it would be for me. It's just, as much as I absolutely love it, I don't think I would actually buy said item, which we'll get to at the end. So my buying plans going in, I don't really need a project bag. If I find one of the drawstring style project bags, I might buy one, but I have a couple of drawstring ones, and one in particular that I use all the time that is a handmade one. But I do have this canvas bag that was sent to me in a wool swap that I told Danielle I think would be really cool to start collecting like pins and patches on. We've both mentioned in the past how we love all the patches and everything.
About that. I didn't think about that. I didn't put any pin people on. Oh, I'm giving spoilers.
So we've both mentioned in the past about how much we love some of the different enamel pins and patches, but didn't really have a place to put them. I don't think I'd wear a denim jacket with patches on it, but I'll always use a bag for something. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for some patches and things, still being selective with which ones I buy. So that, I am going to be later on this year going to some training education academy for a new job that is going to be very physically and mentally taxing. So I think, and that's going to be several months long. I think while I'm there, all I will have the brain power for or energy for is like basic stockinette and garter. And so I want to keep an eye out for things that I can use for basic stockinette and garter projects. But I can also do those things while studying, like projects that I can read and knit at the same time. And then sort of along the same vein, which I'll get into a little later, I want to keep an eye out for some yarn that I can use that is either lace weight or fingering for a wool vest. I'm not sure if I want it to be a vest or want it to have some very short sleeves that I can layer in the winter underneath my uniform top. So I usually wear a wool long sleeve shirt and then I wear my uniform top on top of that. I'd like to, I think, make either a vest or a shirt out of wool that would go between the long sleeve and my uniform top, just to help keep things sort of insulated. So those are my purchasing plans.
I don't have any potential project planned for any potential yarn that I might buy yet. I will admit I am not like a massive variegated hand-dyed yarn person. In certain projects, I think they're beautiful and I think they are gorgeous to look at in the skein. But then once I knit them up into a pattern or into a project, I really prefer just solid colors or big, like, I can't think, geometric prints.
Color block?
And so, yeah, color block, geometric prints. So hand-dyed yarns are not usually as the variegated hand-dyed, like the hand-painted yarns that I feel like a lot of vendors have, don't usually really speak to me in a project. I think they're beautiful to look at, but they don't really speak to me in a project. Tonal yarns and slightly variegated yarns and heathered yarns, I love. So if the vendors have some of those, I would definitely be keeping my eye out. And I don't have any projects in mind right now. I think it'll just kind of be what I find and what inspiration strikes when it does.
The vest, because our budget for yarn is pretty limited, I am kind of cheating with the vest because I figure I would spend money on that item anyway if I was to buy one in the store, and it is something I need. So if I buy yarn to make that, it's not coming out of my yarn budget, it's coming out of my like work clothing uniform attire budget. And so it lets me cheat a little bit and get an extra thing.
Yeah. But well, then you could make a vest out of a couple skeins of fingering weight yarn.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be too bad.
Budget, speaking of budget, before we get into the vendors, I'm sure that at some point in this discussion, something will be mentioned about something either being affordable or not being affordable, being too expensive. And I just want to put the disclaimer out there that us saying that does not at all reflect on the artist. I think that every artist should price their items at a point that gives them a livable wage, more than just the minimum wage, something that is sustainable for them. Neither one of us work very well-paying jobs, and so our budgets are quite small. So anytime we say that something is going to be too expensive or
we don't mean that it's not value, like it's we're not devaluing something.
No,
like it's not. We're not meaning that as in it's not worth it. Like it is every bit worth that money. It's just not in our budgets to be able to afford that right now.
Yeah, it's too expensive for our budget, not too expensive for the item that it is. So anyway, you want to get into it?
Sure.
You want to start?
Right? Sure. We're going to be showing, so we have not told each other what our picks are. These are going to be surprises to each other. And we have also gone and, like I said, taken screenshots of the Instagram pages or of the specific items. I'll be putting those up on the screen as we're talking to them, but we're also going to be using our phones and showing them to each other at the same time. So when you see us looking down at our phones and at each other's phones, we're seeing the same image that you're seeing right now. So we're just going to go like least to most excited, or in my case, least likely to buy something to most likely to buy something, and then we'll finish with our honorable mentions.
Okay.
So my number 7 is called Burr Oak Studios, and they make, let me find the picture, they make these most amazing recycled knitting needle items. They have earrings.
I don't think I saw those.
bracelets. And the thing that I thought them was the most neat, and I'll show the picture, is they have these amazing shawl pins that are made out of knitting needles twisted into these just like awesome shapes.
That's really cool. I did not see
I think they're just so fun. I have a few shawls that I've knitted, haven't really worn them a lot. I am going to fool myself into thinking that if I had a shawl pin, I would wear them more.
You could wear one of my shawls with a shawl pin.
But I
could steal your shawl pin and use it with that shawl.
I just think these shawl pins are so fun.
Those are really cool.
And just so unique. And so that's my number 7, Burr Oak Studios. I don't know if I will actually buy one or not. It, again, depends on how much they are and where I am at in my budget at that point. But if they're within my budget at that moment, I think I might get one. I think they're really cool.
Those are really, really cool. I like the purple one there in the middle on the right.
With like the triangle one. Yes.
Yeah,
I like
really cool.
Out of these ones, I'm torn. I really like on the bottom row the mauve-y one in the middle, and then the kind of like rusty one.
Yeah,
next
I do like
to
the
it.
rusty one.
Both of those are really cool. So that's my number 7.
My number 7 is, I'm looking at this upside down, Destination Yarn, and one specific collection of theirs. They have all sorts of really, really cool collections that are inspired by different things, but she has a chicken collection.
What?
Yes. If I can find a picture, I'll put up a
little bit
picture.
like a chicken too when I said that.
If I can find a picture, I will put up a picture. We have chickens. We have 11 chickens. We have 11 chickens. There is a picture somewhere of Pippin, who's laying right here, sitting on one of our lawn chairs, and one of our chickens decided to pop up in the chair with him. It's very cute. But she has 3 yarns that are made, or that are a chicken collection yarn. I like all 3 of them, but the one that I like the most is Prize Rooster.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is.
I
It's
think
very like Americana to me, or at least like what I think of as Americana. Like,
yeah. It looks like Christmas colors, like Christmas socks.
It does a little bit, yeah.
So these are the 3 here.
Ooh,
and
like
it is from left to right in the skeins. It is Prize Rooster, Farm Fresh Eggs, and I don't remember what the hen one is called. I've got a picture of it. No, I don't. It's a hen yarn. But the hens that the hen yarn are dyed after look very, very similar.
They do. They look like some of our hens.
Some of our hens. So anyway, I like the whole collection, but this Prize Rooster yarn specifically is just stunning. I also think that would make a really pretty muscle burrow.
Oh, yeah.
And very much our colors. So that is my number 7.
All right. Moving right along. My number 6. I don't know if I would actually buy anything from this store, so I probably should have ranked it below my number 7. But maybe. So it's Texas Prairie Fiber Company. And the only reason I say I don't know if I would buy anything is because looking at their Instagram that I've seen, I don't know that their colorways are really like speaking to me. But they specialize in fibers that are that are completely grown in Texas, either animal fiber or plant fiber, and they're all hand dyed in Texas, and we are Texans. So Texas is, a big ordeal. If you're not from the U.S., Texans are a breed of their own, and just as we are proud to be Americans, we are equally proud to be Texans. So I really appreciated Texas Prairie Fiber Company. I don't have a picture of a particular product because, like I said, none of their yarns that I saw on Instagram really spoke to me. But I do have a picture of their website, and I liked their logo, and I really love the flowers on the bottom. That reddish flower that is on the right is actually my favorite, or one of my favorite kind of wildflowers. I love all of the Texas wildflowers. And so yeah, that's my number 6 is Texas Prairie Fiber Company. Like I said, I don't know if I'll actually buy anything from them or not, but if I find something that I like, I probably will.
My number 6 will come as no surprise to Danielle. It is Snyder Spindles. Literally the only reason that it is ranked at number 6 and not much higher is because I'm going to be good and only get one. And I don't know specifically which one, but I'm going to get another Turkish drop spindle. I have a Turkish drop spindle. This is actually my second one because a dog ate my first one. And I love spinning on a Turkish drop spindle. It's like a fidget spinner that you get yarn afterwards. And part of the reason I like the Turkish drop spindle versus any other kind of a spindle is that, and I actually have a picture that I'll have Danielle insert. The cross pieces separate and you're able to pull them out of your yarn, and then you get what's called a turtle, which is this right here. And you can pull your single, which is what they call the yarn as you're spinning it before it's plied, before it is multiple pieces put together. You can pull your single out of the inside and outside and start plying it onto the Turkish drop spindle. And what that does is, no matter what your gauge is or anything, you always end with a loop, so you're not wasting any of your single. And it's all nice and self-contained. So I love one. I love mine. I would like to have another one so I can have 2 things going at once. And I saw this one on his website that has bats on it.
Oh, yes.
And when we worked at the zoo in San Antonio, the very first animal that we really started studying more and connected with were the bats. So bats have a very special place in our hearts. But I don't know if he'll have this bat spindle there. I would honestly be happy with any of his drop spindles.
I mean, I think it's going to be close enough to Halloween, so
I should hope
hopefully he will.
But I do really like this bat drop spindle.
Yes.
So yes, that is my number 6 is Snyder Spindles. All right.
My number 5, I'm trying to remember how to count backwards over here. My number 5, I'm recording this on 0 hours of sleep, so I apologize in advance. So my number 5 is a vendor called Apothefairy. There was not any one single item from this vendor that really stood out to me more than others. She's just a hand dyer, and her colors are just perfect. Like, I just took a screenshot of her Instagram. I especially love this. I don't know if in my editing program, if I can like circle things or point things out. If I can, I'll try to. But I especially love on the bottom right this yarn. But just all of her yarns and all of her colors are the colors that we really like. Just really dark, earthy, moody colors, which are just our bread and butter.
Yeah.
So no one single item. Again, kind of like with Texas Prairie Fiber Company, it depends on my budget by the time I get there, and if there's anything that just jumps out and grabs me. But I think I could probably find something at her booth, some yarn at her booth that I would really like. Yeah, that was my number 5.
All right. My number 5 is Stunning String Studio, because of one specific thing. And if you watched the previous video, which was our very first podcast episode, you will have seen me talk about this beanie, which is made out of yarn that has buffalo fiber in it. American bison, yes. Stunning String Studio makes buffalo yarn, but more specifically, she makes bison down.
What?
Which is just the fluffy bison fur that you could card into whatever fiber content you want.
That's awesome.
And it's pretty affordable. I'm sure it's not I'm sure you're not getting a ton, but
I mean, how easy is it to brush out a bison?
if it's the same prices as it is on your website, I'm assuming this is the smaller half-ounce bag of bison down for $25. I could afford that.
Yeah.
And then I could card it into some wool or something and spin
alpaca?
The yarn.
Oh my goodness, that would be the most amazing.
Make something with some buffalo.
That would be awesome. I'm really surprised that we haven't had any crossovers.
We're gonna have at least one crossover.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll have at least
We honestly have not talked to each other about this at all. We both separately sat down and looked at the list of vendors, and there are so many vendors there. I think I'm gonna be a little bit overwhelmed. But there's so many vendors there that these vendors Kristen's talking about, I'm like, did I see that one? Which I surely must have. But
so that you kind of have to dig on her website a little bit to find that. It's not like right there on the front.
So my number 4 is not really a specifically knitting related person. But again, like I said, I was ranking these and how likely I am to buy something or not. In my top 4, I think I am extremely likely to buy something from these people. Again, if I can afford it. But my number 4 is Hun Bun Studios, and she makes mugs. And mugs are one of my many weaknesses, especially hand-thrown clay mugs. I love a good hand-thrown clay mug, and it gets warm, and it just feels right. It feels natural and right to be drinking coffee out of these hand-thrown clay mugs. I have one that I purchased from a person in Branson when we were there for a visit, and it's one of my favorite mugs. But her designs, I know Kristen's seen some of these, because when I discovered that she was going to be there, I couldn't contain myself and had to show her. But her designs are just the most beautiful, geometric. Like I said, I like really geometric shapes. One of those beautiful geometric shapes. And I would love a mug.
Man with the tree man, the end one.
So this picture here with all of the mugs on it is quite a bit older on their Instagram page, over a year old. So I don't know if some of these styles would still be in. But these top ones, especially this very top left one, I am absolutely in love with. And I'm also wondering if it's going to be there for a yarn festival, if they will maybe have some yarn bowls.
Ooh, that would be cool.
I don't need a yarn bowl, but I also don't really need another mug.
No.
But I think it would be really cool to get a really nice hand-thrown glazed yarn bowl.
Oh, that would be really cool.
So that's my number 4 is Hun Bun Studios.
My number 4 is Fiberlady, which I suspect is going to be your honorable mention. But I don't have many pictures. I don't know, kind of like you were saying, I don't know how likely I am to purchase yarn from her as much as I would like to, because looking at the colors, this is the only picture that I could find. just looking at her colors, I'm not sure if I will be able to find many colors that I would wear, but she has specifically bamboo and cotton natural fiber yarns. We live in a pretty hot climate in the summertime, and neither one of us have very many yarns that are made out of natural fibers that are good for summer knitting. And it's something this year that I have really tried to expand to. I've had a hard time finding natural fiber, plant fiber in a lighter weight, like a fingering weight. So I'd like to at least see what she has. And if she has anything in colors that I would wear, I'm sure I would end up with something to make a tank top or something. She has one that is called Babu, which is 50% merino and 50% bamboo, that I think would be really nice.
That's a cute name.
Yeah, for a t-shirt, something that's more of a spring fall garment. And then she has Bouncy Boo, which is 60% bamboo, 40%. It's something called Sorona, and it's a trademarked thing. That is supposed to give it some memory and like make it bounce back a little bit more, which I know is a problem with plant-based fibers. They tend to stretch out and then not
I think you're licking my microphone.
Bounce back to what they were before. That is my number 4.
All right. My number 3, I can almost guarantee you I'm going to get something from there, is Cerulean Orchid. And the reason I can almost guarantee you I'm going to get something from there is because they sell stickers.
Oh.
And I love stickers. And I have only one knitting sticker, and dang it, I should have grabbed my cup. I have this giant cup that we just got that I don't have really hardly any stickers on. And this sticker in particular, if they have this sticker, which I will show, it's like a yarn ball camping. It's just like all the best things, trees and camping and everything. Like, this is me in a sticker.
Kind of looks like stained glass too.
Yes. So, but they've got quite a few stickers that are kind of in this style. I think that was the only one I took a picture of. But I can almost guarantee you that I will be getting a sticker from Cerulean Orchid.
Yeah, those are really pretty. I wonder if they have any patches.
Don't know.
That would be cool.
I feel like maybe I saw they did.
That was your number 3, right?
That was my number 3. Very likely to get something from there. From these next 3, honestly, like, I can almost guarantee you I'm going to get something.
My number 3 is the 100th Sheep, which is the vendor that is actually teaching the dyeing class that I'm taking. And she has a lot of amazing fiber bats for spinning into fiber. This one in specifically I really liked the look of. But I know that she does do yarn. So this is some yarn that she's dyeing that looks similar to, I got a braid of comb top from her at a small yarn store in New Mexico last year on our vacation. All right, we had a little bit of a camera malfunction. So if the angles changed, that would be why. So we discovered her when I bought this braid of comb top at a yarn store on our vacation. And what I really liked about it is that it's this turquoisey blue to a bright orange. If I get a picture, I will send it to Danielle, include a couple pictures of it. So I fell in love with the color, bought the braid, got in the van. We were road tripping, and I looked at her tag, and it said the 100th Sheep. And we're both Christians, and so when we saw that, and it seemed like a reference to the camera's crooked. Sorry, ADHD. It seemed like a reference to
I don't think that really helped.
One of the stories in the Bible that it's a parable that talks about how when Jesus loses one sheep, he will leave the 99 to go find the one sheep that is missing and bring it back into the flock. So that's the 100th sheep. We looked it up, and sure enough, she's a Christian too, which made us so excited. And so, yes, anyway, she has so many colors that I would love to see, and she is just a master of the gradient. Like, she takes gradients to a scientific level and can make colors like a turquoise and orange that are opposites on the color wheel blend together beautifully. So I'm excited about getting to meet her and talk to her in person, but also looking at what yarn she has available.
Okay. So number 2, I had a ridiculously hard time with my number 2 and my number 1, deciding which one was going to be number 2 and which one was going to be number 1, because I have to say I honestly love them both equally. And I haven't even seen them in person yet. But so my number 2 spot is from Wool Needle Thread, and they sell project bags. And like I said earlier in this video, one of my plans is to purchase a project bag. This particular project bag I absolutely adore. I know Kristen's seen a picture of it before because I had sent it to her before.
It's really pretty.
But I love any dark foresty kind of turquoisey green. That's just like my favorite color. And this one in particular has that beautiful dark foresty green. And I do like the bird on there. But I've seen some pictures of her other bags, and she has other bags that are also just as beautiful. And quite a few of them, I would say, are in my style. So I think I'm pretty much guaranteed to find a bag from her that I will love. If she has this one in particular, it's going to be hard for me to choose between that one and any others, because I do really, really like this one. But I fully intend, again, if I can afford it, I fully intend to buy a project bag from her. But I was telling Kristen, I think I would almost prefer to buy a project bag than a few skeins of yarn. I'm assuming it's going to be like in the same price range as what a few skeins of yarn would be. And I think I would rather buy a project bag because it's going to span, again, like I said, I've been using the same project bag for years now. So one single purchase is going to span me years of enjoyment versus the yarn. Yes, I will get years of enjoyment out of the finished project, but I'm not going to have that long of time actually like creating something out of the yarn. So yeah, I think now that I'm thinking of it, it probably should have gone in my number 1 spot, but I think the project bag is definitely going to be on my purchases while I'm there.
Yeah. All right. My number 2 is the Ross Farm, which they specialize in heritage wool in livestock concert. It's been a long time since I've said that word. Conservancy. They are a part of the Shave 'em to Save 'em organization, which I think is more of a household name among spinners than it is necessarily among knitters. As a side tangent to the whole tangent video, in the last, I'd say 3 or 4 years, I have gotten very interested in the whole process of yarn, whether it's fiber, spinning fiber into yarn, and just the history of how we ended up where we are in our yarn loving community. And so Shave 'em to Save 'em is I'm not sure how you become a part of it, but basically it's people that that raise these heritage breeds of sheep that aren't necessarily the most sought after desirable sheep, but they are becoming less and less common because they are being crossbred with other breeds to make their wool more desirable. Shave 'em to Save 'em is trying to preserve some of these heritage breeds of sheep. So they have a lot of, it's all just raw, natural fiber yarns. They have fleeces, they have roving. But I'm thinking specifically that I would like to buy yarn from them to make that vest for the undergarment vest, because it doesn't have to be a super bright color. And we said in our last video, neither one of us mind the texture of like really woolly yarn. It doesn't really bother us, even being on
next to
skin. And so I think a vest like that, that's going to be heavily worn at work, where I'm going to be sweating and things are going to be rubbing on it and such, I think a rustic heritage breed would do very well for that.
See, now, okay, I've been saying since this winter, I do a lot of work outside in the wintertime. I work cattle. And so I said this last year when I was out working cattle, I have this, it's a store-bought wool sweater that is my cattle working sweater. And I said this last winter that I also wanted a wool vest to wear while out working cattle, because sometimes I'm moving around enough that I don't need my full wool sweater. And see, now I really want to get some yarn from them to also make a vest.
It'd be really cool to do.
I would want a thicker weight, because I don't mind it. Well, first off, it's gonna have to be washed because it's gonna get covered in cow poop. So I would want more of like a worsted weight yarn. But yeah.
So they have so many colors. And that's one of the things I think is really neat about it, is just celebrating the natural colors and really enjoying the natural colors that sheep come in. I would love black because it works with my uniform. But they have some Romney, which is like a dark gray. This Shetland Sport, I think, would be really nice. And then they have Shetland Roving, which the other option is, because it is more affordable to buy roving than it is to buy yarn, I could buy Shetland Roving and just get busy on my spinning wheel and spin it into yarn, and then knit it up, and that would make it a little bit more affordable. Not that any of their yarn that I saw was very expensive, because it's not been dyed, it's just processed. It does tend to be a little bit more affordable. But this Shetland Roving, I think, would make really nice. I would love Jacob, because I don't know, I like Jacob sheep. They're really cool. And that's another Romney. They have lace weight too. That's the other option. I could do it in like a lace weight, which would take a long time to knit, but it would be very thin. So for layering, I think a lace weight would work really well. Yeah. That is my number 2.
Okay, so my number 1, and the reason why my number 1 is at my number 1 spot, I will say, it is yarn. When I saw the picture of this yarn on Instagram, I literally gasped out loud. Literally gasped out loud, because I think this might be the most beautiful yarn I have ever seen. And it is gorgeous. Like I said, I am in love with any dark foresty green. Oh, I should have said it's from Treehouse Knits. See, I'm already getting distracted by this beautiful yarn. But it is by Treehouse Knits. The color is, I swear I've seen this tree before, and I am crossing every appendage that I have that they have this yarn at the Fiber Festival.
That is a stunning color.
Because I feel like a lot of times, like, it is hard to find this particular, like, this exact color. And this exact color is what I just absolutely love. Yeah. And so many times it's too green or too turquoise or too dark, and just not just this. Okay, we will figure this whole phone recording thing out eventually, but I was in the middle of just rambling about this yarn that is just captivated me body and soul.
It's really pretty.
It is so beautiful. If they have it there, I will be getting some. The question is, how much will I get?
Sweater
I
quantity.
would love to buy a sweater's quantity of this yarn. I don't know that I can afford it. I doubt I will be able to afford it, but I don't know. Maybe a vest that I could wear over something. I don't know, but I will be getting this yarn if they have it, because like I said, it is so rare that I find this exact color that I just absolutely love. And I like this picture. Honestly, I should just like make this my phone background.
It's really pretty.
I like that she shows it in the different bases and how they all look. I don't know what this kind of like fuzzy, I don't know if it's a mohair
in it.
but no, not the far left one, the second one in. This darker, like fuzzy, I don't know if it's a mohair or what, but is beautiful. Anyway, that is my number one, because like I said, when I saw this picture on Instagram, I audibly gasped to myself out loud because it just like jumped out and grabbed me, and I felt it in my heart. Like I was just like, that was, anyway, yeah. So that is my number one, because yeah, why not? It's beautiful.
Oh. So my number one, I'm shocked to say, is not a crossover.
Yeah.
We've not had any crossovers this whole time. Crossovers. So we do a lot of tabletop gaming. One of the YouTube videos or channels we like to watch is the Dice Tower. And they do like top 10 videos all the time with multiple people. And they say crossover anytime that they've got multiple people who have listed a game in their top 10. So that's kind of where is that language coming from. My number one is Forbidden Fiber Co. And they have their whole yarn, or their whole company is steampunk based.
Wait, we've got their stitch markers.
Yes, so that's why I pulled this out. I got one of their stitch markers. I got one of their stitch markers in a wool swap and have been using it because it's absolutely adorable.
I swear we looked at the same list of vendors. There's just going to be that many vendors there.
There's going to be so many vendors. So if you haven't seen this, this is my Stag Beetle t-shirt, which I think when I put it in Ravelry, it's going to be Stag Beetle with a bunch of S's before the stag, because obviously those are not Stag Beetles. But anyway, I have one of their stitch markers. I don't know if I can hide my face. You'll be able to see that without too much of a glare. It's this really adorable sheep that kind of looks like Indiana Jones's father, played by Sean Connery. Anyway, their whole page, their whole company is sheep punk, and so steampunk, but for sheep. And all of their colors, honestly, are absolutely amazing. I love this one. And I love this with the neps in it, in this one specifically, because I think the neps just work with the colors in the yarn.
Yeah. The green and gray is not a very common, not a common colors to see together.
And I'm not normally a yellow gold person. I mean, I like this color of yellow as decor, but it's not really a color we wear. But I think I would wear something with this. This again has that greenish gold color. This sort of vampire-y pinkish rose black. It's girly, but in a not super frilly girly kind of a way. And I love that whole thing. And there it is with like a maroon red. I really like it. And then again, the greens. This tonal brown, just super neutral. But yes, that is my number one. It is Sheep Punk Gazette, which is by Forbidden Fiber Co. And yeah, I'm super excited to see what they have in stock, because I think their whole lineup is beautiful.
Okay, so honorable mentions. Like I said, my honorable mention would not be for myself. My honorable mention did I even actually write down my honorable mention? I did. It is called You Can Stitch It. And they sell embroidery kits. And so if I go here and get anything, it would not be for myself. It would be for our mom. She has, like we said in our first podcast, she kind of raised us crafting. And she recently has really been getting more into embroidery, and has, even when we've been traveling and gone to different yarn stores, has asked if anybody knows of like any needlepoint stores, and really hasn't found a lot out there for needlepoint. And this You Can Stitch It place sells needlepoint kits, and just, it's a needlepoint vendor. And so I think getting something for her from there would be something that she would really like and really appreciate. But this kit in particular, this Texas
she would
kit,
like that.
I think she would really like. Like I said, we are Texans first and foremost. So I do think she would really like this Texas kit. So that's my honorable mention. I would not be purchasing this for myself. That's why I felt like I could slide it in there and talk about it, because it would be for our mom. But I do plan on at least swinging by there, seeing if anything there really jumps out at me as something that she would like, and I might pick a little something up for her.
Yeah. I have to pull up the list for my honorable mention, because I didn't know we were going to do honorable mentions until we sat down here. So my honorable mention is, I just blanked again. Desert Panda Fiber Arts. I didn't write this down because I didn't realize we were doing honorable mentions. Desert Panda Fiber Arts, and they have a couple of rainbow kits that are really, really pretty, but specifically the grunge rainbow, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's like, take all the colors of the rainbow and add black to them. And it's absolutely beautiful. I love it. I really like the orange in the middle. Surprise, surprise. It is my honorable mention because I don't know that I would actually buy it. There are a lot of other yarns that I saw that I would come closer to buying more than the grunge rainbow. The only way I could see myself maybe buying it was if they had a mini skein kit and doing like a pair of socks or something out of that. But yeah, that was my honorable mention.
Well, I think that's all I have. I think that's all we have.
I think so. If you're going to be at the DFW Fiber Festival, put a comment down below. We'd love to meet people. I know we're going to meet people anyway.
Yeah.
But I'd love to be able to plan to meet some people, and it'd be really cool to get to meet you.
Or you could reach out to us on Instagram.
Yes.
Shoot us a message or something.
Yeah, our Instagram is at TwinStrands. You can get in contact with us there. Our Ravelries are Dog Happy 2010 and Unicorn Tess. You can also message us on there. And we do have an email.
Don't message me on there. I won't see it.
We do have an email, which is twinstrands@gmail.com. So yeah, that is all for today's tangent. We had a lot of fun getting our list together of vendors, and it just made me so excited, super hyped for the Fiber Festival. I can't wait.
I think, and you can let us know what y'all think, but I think we would like to do more of these kind of top 10 videos in the future. I know we both really enjoyed putting them together, or putting our lists together and then talking and comparing. So if that's something that you would like to see more of, maybe patterns or yarns, or who knows what all we'll think of, but let us know. We would really like to do it, and we may do it anyway.
I
just because it was really fun to put together.
Yeah. I'm really surprised we didn't have any crossovers. I was expecting at least one.
Me too.
I mean, I guess that goes to show you. I mean, there are so many amazing vendors on there. I mean, we really had a hard time narrowing it down to 7. I think if we had compared our original lists before we narrowed them down, I think there would have been more crossovers.
Oh, I'm sure. But anyway,
so that is all for today's video. Thanks for watching. Do all the things like subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and we will see y'all next time.
bye.
Bye.